Welcome everybody to No Sleep live stream number 10. I am David Cummings, glad to be with you from Toronto, Canada. Woo! I'll let the applause die down. Great. So, yes, we've hit double digits in live streams, and we've got a great story for you today. We're leaning into the sci-fi realm today, but that is going to be super exciting. And so, with no further ado, would you welcome our musical maestro all the way from Cincinnati, Mr. Brandon Boone.
Hey, everyone.
Brandon, how are you?
Doing all right. I thought you were going to call me when you were going to say, talking about background noise, so just thankful you didn't do that.
No, of course not. Got your Radiohead shirt on?
That I do.
All right.
That's all I got anyway, so.
It's nothing but Radiohead shirts. Wow, thank you. As always, Brendan. I know you've got lots on today. You've got big parties, a big fancy party coming up. So
big virtual parties.
We'll get this nonsense over with quickly so you can go party.
Appreciate that.
Indeed. Joining us, as always, I shouldn't say as always, but I mean, as we're grateful that he is such a great actor and able to be with us on so many of these streams. From New Jersey, North America, Mr. Graham Rowett. Welcome, sir.
Hi, everybody.
Good to see you.
Ready for some sci-fi. Thanks for having me.
Some sci-fi. That's right. Yes. Some crazy people suggested that maybe Graham isn't wearing a shirt, but he is wearing a flesh-colored shirt there. So
yep.
don't get the wrong idea there.
That's my shtick.
That's Brandon's thing. Indeed. Also joining us from across the pond, there's an alt in the chat, and there's an alt on screen. He's Mr. David Alts. Welcome, David.
Hello.
From your magical wardrobe.
My magical wardrobe with a magical tea window.
Amazing. Thank you for joining us.
That's a pleasure.
We have another stalwart joining us, as always, from Rochester, New York, the wonderful Nicole Goodnight. Hello, Nicole.
Hello.
Wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here.
Excellent, excellent. As always, we have another fair maiden joining us from Amarillo, Texas. Would you welcome Sarah Thomas? Hello, Sarah.
Hi, folks.
Good to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
That's great. I notice it's funny. We, of course, we do some of these live streams, and they're like tour scripts. So we have kind of the tour team, and then we seem to have like a Sarah, Graham, and Nicole. Like you guys sort of are often doing stuff together. So
got the magic going on.
Yeah, we all have our little our own little family casts here. But joining us for the very first time on the stream or the live stream performances, he was with us back. We did a thing for that Potapalooza that he joined us on. But we are thrilled that he is joining us to act for the first time. And I can say before he comes on screen, brace yourself, because it's Mr. Kyle Akers.
Hello.
Wow.
Hi, everybody.
Kyle Akers.
So good to be here.
Oh, the ingenue.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's great to be here.
Kyle, when people talk about wearing masks, they don't mean those fake, glasses and mustaches.
Should I take it off? What if it actually came off? What if the mustache actually came off?
Harpo Marx glasses.
Snappy. Wow, look at she. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us for the first performance time.
Thanks for
Kyle.
having me. I appreciate it.
This is wonderful. And I made this mistake last time. You are in Kansas City, right?
That's correct. Kansas City.
Not St. Louis, Missouri, but Kansas City.
We have a strict rivalry with St. Louis because we're better and they don't accept it.
Well, I know on tour we were grateful that one night we came through KC and you gave us a recommendation for a rib joint, a smokehouse.
LC that pretty well here.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
There were some
more places when you come through again.
Yes, just
tell us how y'all really feel.
You can hear it in their voices.
A huge bank vault full of smoked meat. It was just
it was amazing.
Goodness.
Well, speaking of smoked meat, tonight's story. We're going to do a fun story tonight. This was originally performed by a show that I was not familiar with, but I think it was on the NBC network. It's called X-1. So as you can imagine, they did a lot of sci-fi stories. This was originally performed in 1955. And I will start us off by jumping right into what the host of that show would have said to start it off. And I think you'll find that I made a few small alterations to fit the tone of what we're doing. So we'll begin thusly. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. Creative Reason Media presents the NoSleep Podcast. Tonight's story, Ray Bradbury's tale, The Veldt. This is the office of Dr. David McLean, resident psychiatrist of the New Chicago Institute of Human Engineering.
All right, Miss Carver, will you take this, please? To Charles S. Howarth, senior psychiatrist, New Chicago Institute of Human Engineering. The following constitutes my report on the case of George and Lydia Abbott, which we discussed by telephone. Subject George relates onset of symptoms to the purchase of a $60,000 soundproofed Happy Life home. Under narcosynthesis during initial interviews, subject described the experience in the following manner. Miss Carver, would you play back the recording of the initial interview?
We'd always wanted one, and then we could afford it, so...
Go on, Mr. Abbott. Tell me about the home.
The home, well, it was supposed to do everything, the agent told us, and it did, I guess. It clothed us, fed us, and rocked us to sleep. Played and sang, and it was good to us. Very good, sure.
Tell me about the nursery.
The nursery? The nursery,
It was completely automatic?
completely automatic. There were crystalline walls that wavered from 2 to 3 dimensions. There were pseudo-textured floors that shifted from brick to dirt to waving grass. The nursery was the best, but then we wanted the best for the children. Doctor, I must be crazy. We have no children.
What about Peter and Wendy? They're your children.
Oh, no, we have no children, Doctor. We have no children!
All right, Miss Carver. Thank you. To continue. After 3 sessions, the subject was able to recall and accept the idea that he had 2 children. He described the first day thus.
All right, Peter and Wendy, this is your nursery.
What's so special about a nursery, Dad?
Plenty. Just go in and see.
Oh, do we have to?
You'll be surprised.
Gee!
Go ahead.
I'm scared.
I'm not. Hey, it's nice in here.
Is it?
Come on in, Wendy. Boy, look at the pictures on the walls. They're real.
Well, they're almost real. You can change them any way you like, just by thinking about it.
Go on in, dear.
Well, all right, Mommy.
Hey, Wendy, look what I could do with the pictures.
That's the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland.
Sure. I just thought about it, and there it was.
Let me try, Peter. Let me try.
Well, go ahead. Just think.
How about the Wizard in Oz? I want to see the Wizard in Oz.
Well, dear, there we are.
Oh, they like it, don't they?
Why shouldn't they? All they have to do is think, and they've got whatever they want in 3 dimensions. Color, sound, and smell.
It's nice that we can give them all these advantages.
Sure. What else are we working for, huh? Well, what do you want to do this evening?
Well, the Petersons asked us over for bridge, but if you...
Well, we don't have to worry about the kids. They'll be all right in the nursery. Come on, Lydia. We deserve a night out.
And in the nursery, the walls were a kaleidoscope of time and space and imagination. The green forest of Sherwood and the quiet forms of Robin and his merry men gave way to the roll of the high seas and the smell of salt in the air as Sir Henry Morgan sailed into the harbor at Jamaica. And behind the crystalline quartz walls, the vacuum tubes and grids and banks of metal image tape spun quietly and efficiently, erasing the line between illusion and reality. Of course, the electric bill from Consolidated Utilities was tremendous, but it was worth it. The happy life home breathed contentedly as life proceeded with soft automaticity as guaranteed in the brochure and bill of sale.
George?
Hmm.
George, I wish you'd look at the nursery.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
I was in the nursery last week. It's perfectly all right.
It's different now.
What do you mean, different?
I want you to come and see.
Are the kids there?
No, Madge Allen took them to a show along with her kids. That's why I want you to look at it now before they get back.
Oh, all right. But what do you expect me to do? I don't know. I'm no mechanic.
This isn't a question of a leaky faucet, George.
All right, dear, I'm coming.
The nursery light flicked on as they came down the hall. The relays clicked and the tubes warmed and chemical odor banks and pipes bubbled into life as they paused before the closed door.
Go ahead, George. Open it.
On all sides, in 3 dimensions, stretched the hot, tired landscapes of an African veldt, produced, reproduced to the last stick and pebble and bit of straw. The ceiling above them became a sky with a hot yellow sun. A wind blew in from the baked veldt land. The hot straw smelled of lion grass, the cool green smell of the hidden water hole, the great rusty smell of animals. The howl of the jackal in the distance, and the papery rustling of the great vultures that wheeled and circled under the yellow, burning sun.
Let's get out of this sun. It's a little too real.
Oh, George, you promised you'd look around.
Well, I don't see anything.
Wait a minute. There are vultures.
Filthy creatures.
There are lions. Far over, that way.
Yes, I see them.
Why, they're on their way to the water hole. They've just eaten.
It's some animal, a zebra or a baby giraffe, maybe.
Can you see it? Are you sure?
It's a little late to be sure. Nothing over there but cleaned bones, and the vulture swooping down for what's left.
Did you hear that scream?
What scream?
About a moment ago.
Sorry, no?
Oh, here come the lions, George. They're frightening.
Take it easy, Lydia. They're just illusion.
The lions were 15 feet away, so real, so startlingly real. You could feel the prickling fur on your hand, and your mouth was stuffed with the dusty upholstery smell of their heated pelts, and the yellow of them was in your eyes like the yellow of an exquisite tapestry. The yellows of lions and summer grass, and the sound of the matted lion lungs exhaling on the silent noontide, and the smell of meat from the panting, dripping mouths.
George, I'm afraid they're so real.
They're only illusion, Lydia, that's all.
Watch out!
Out! Quick, outside!
They almost got us.
Now take it easy, calm down.
I could feel their breath.
Get a hold of yourself, Lydia. They aren't walls. They aren't real. Walls, that's all it is. Crystalloid walls.
They look so real.
Of course they do, but it's all dimensional. Color, reactionary process, and mental tape film behind glass screens. It's odorophonics and sonics. Now here, take my handkerchief.
I'm afraid. Did you see? Did you feel? It's too real.
Now, Lydia.
We've got to tell Wendy and Peter not to read anymore on Africa.
Of course, dear.
I want you to lock that place up.
But you know how difficult Peter is about it? I punished him last week by locking the nursery for an afternoon, and he threw a tantrum. And Wendy, too. Why, they live for the nursery.
It's got to be locked. That's all there is to it.
You've been working too hard, Lydia. You need a rest.
I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough to do. I have too much time to think. All I do is set the menu selector dials at the beginning of the week.
But that's the whole idea. The house is automatic.
I know, but couldn't we turn it off for about a week and take a vacation?
You mean you want to fry eggs for me?
And darn socks. I feel like I don't belong here. The house is wife and mother and maid. How can I compete with the African Veldt? George? Those lions, they can't get out of there, can they?
Of course not, dear. Now don't think any more about it.
They ate alone. He sat idly, watching the dining room table produce warm dishes of food from its mechanical interior.
You forgot the ketchup. That's better.
It wouldn't hurt to lock the children out of the nursery for a while. It was clear that they had been spending too much time in Africa. That sun! He could feel it on his neck still, like a hot paw. And the lions, and the smell of blood. Remarkable how the nursery caught the telepathic emanations of the children's minds and created a life to fulfill their desires. The children thought zebras, and there were zebras. Sun and sun. Giraffes, then giraffes. Death and death. They were so young, but long before you knew what death was, you were wishing it on someone else. But this, the long, hot African veldt, the awful death in the jaws of a lion, and repeated again and again and again. The children came home dutifully at 8:30.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Pop.
Hello, darling.
Hi.
Do you want something to eat, dear? We're just having dessert.
We're full of strawberry ice cream.
And hot dogs.
We'll just sit and watch.
Sure. Peter, tell us about the nursery.
The nursery?
All about Africa and everything.
I don't understand.
Well, your mother and I were just traveling through Africa with rod and reel.
There's no Africa in the nursery.
Oh, come now, Peter. We know better.
I don't remember any Africa. Do you, Wen? Go run and see, huh?
Sure. I'll be right back.
Wendy! Come back here, Wendy!
Oh, she'll be right back, Pop.
She doesn't have to. I've seen it. Come on.
Sure, Pop, but Wendy'll tell us.
Open the door.
See, Daddy? It's not Africa. It's Florida, like in Bambi.
There go the deer. See? It isn't Africa.
I see it isn't. Go to bed.
But it isn't 9 o'clock.
You heard me. Go to bed.
Okay. Good night, Mom. Good night, Pop.
Good night.
Good night, dear. I'll be right in.
Wait a minute, Lydia. Look at this.
What is it?
This is the corner where the lions were, isn't it?
Well, what is it that you picked up?
An old wallet of mine. There's a smell of hot grass on it, and the smell of a lion. It's wet, with saliva, and it's been chewed.
George, those smears are blood.
Come on out. Now let's go to bed.
But in the middle of the night, he was still awake, and he knew his wife was awake.
George, how did your wallet get in the nursery?
I don't know. Wendy must have changed the walls from the African Veldt. I'm going to keep it locked. Maybe it isn't good for the children. My father used to say to me, children are like carpets. They should be stepped on occasionally. We've never lifted a hand. They're spoiled, and we're spoiled. I think I'll have Dr. McLean come tomorrow. He'll come tomorrow morning and have a look at Africa.
But it isn't Africa now. It's Florida and Bambi.
I have a feeling it'll be Africa again by then.
Although their automatic somnobeds tried very hard, the two adults could not be rocked to sleep for another hour. A smell of cats was in the night air. And in the morning, the stove cooked French toast and the dining room table poured the syrup and melted butter.
Pop,
Yes,
you aren't going to lock up the nursery for good, are you?
that all depends
On what?
on you and your sister.
We feel you should have some variety, dear.
I wouldn't want the nursery locked up. Ever.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're thinking of turning the whole house off for about a month. Sort of camping out.
Be fun for a change. Now, don't you think so, Wendy?
No, it'd be awful.
I don't want to do anything but look and listen and smell. What else is there to do?
Oh, all right. All right, go play in Africa.
Are you going to shut off the house soon?
We're considering it.
I don't think you'd better consider it anymore, Pop.
I won't have any threats from you, son.
Okay, Pop. Come on, Wendy. Let's get back.
After breakfast, Dr. David McLean arrived.
I saw the nursery last year, George. It looked all right to me.
You didn't notice anything unusual?
No, the pattern showed the usual violence, a tendency towards slight paranoia. All children feel persecuted by their parents. It's perfectly normal.
There it is.
Suppose we take a look at it now.
They entered without knocking and sent the children out. The screams had faded and the lions were feeding quietly under the trees.
I wish we could see what they're eating.
How long has this been going on?
A little over a month.
It certainly doesn't feel good.
I don't want feelings. I want facts.
Now, George, a psychologist never saw a fact in his life. He knows about feelings, and this doesn't feel good. Now, my advice to you is to have the whole room torn down and your children brought to me every day for the next year for treatment.
It's that bad?
I'm afraid so. You know, that's why the nursery was developed originally, to let us examine the patterns left on the wall by a child's mind.
But what is it? What's wrong with Peter and Wendy?
It's hard to say.
I haven't punished them more than average. Oh, I took away a few gadgets. Last week I locked the nursery to show I meant business.
You've let this room replace you and your wife in your children's affections. This room is their real father and mother, and now you come along and want to shut it. Well, you can feel the hatred coming out of that sky. George, turn everything off. The nursery, the automatic kitchen, the whole automatic house. Start now.
But won't the shock be too much for the children?
I don't want them going any deeper. Let's get out of here. I never like these rooms. They get me nervous.
Those lions look real, don't they? I don't suppose there's any way
What?
that they could become real.
Not that I know.
Some flaw in the machinery? Tampering?
No.
I don't imagine the room will like being turned off.
Nothing ever likes to die, even a room.
I wonder if it hates me for turning it off.
Paranoia is thick today. But hello? Is this your scarf? It's stained. Brown. Blood.
That's Lydia's. Come on, the main fuse box is out here.
All right, go ahead. Pull the switch.
There. It's off.
The two children were in hysterics. They screamed and kicked and threw things. They yelled and sobbed and swore and jumped on the furniture, weeping.
It's off, and it stays off. The whole house dies as of now.
He marched around the house, cutting switches and pulling fuses.
Don't let them do it! Don't let Pop kill everything! I hate you! I hate you!
Insults won't get you anywhere.
I wish you were dead!
We were, for a long while. Now we're gonna start really living. Instead of being handled and massaged, we're gonna live.
One more, Daddy, please, just once more.
Just one more minute of the nursery, that's all. Just one more minute.
No, George, it can't hurt, really.
Oh, all right. Only shut up. 1 minute, and that's the end, forever.
Gee, thanks, Pop. Thanks.
And then we're going on vacation. Dr. McLean is coming in half an hour to help us out. Lydia, turn on the nursery for just a minute.
Oh boy! Come on, Wendy! Come on!
Thanks a lot, Daddy. Thanks a lot.
Just 1 minute, remember. Now, where'd I put those suitcases? Lydia?
Don't shout, George, I'm right here.
But did you leave them alone in the nursery?
Well, I've got to get ready, George.
Well, I guess we'd better get them out of there before they get involved with those beasts again.
Pop! Pop! Come here!
Daddy, Mommy.
Come on, quick.
Wendy? Peter? What's the matter?
Hurry up, open the nursery. Wendy? Peter?
What? They're not anywhere. Wendy? Peter?
Peter? The door. Open the door! They've locked it from the outside. Peter!
Peter! Wendy? Peter, open the door, dear!
Let us out, Peter! Open the door! It's time to go! Open the door!
George, the lions?
Peter! Do you hear me? Open this door!
They're all around us, George.
Son! Do you hear me? Let us out! Son!
George! Look out! The lions!
When Dr. David McLean came a half hour later, he found the two children in the nursery sitting in the center of the open glade, eating a picnic lunch. Beyond them was the water hole and the yellow Veldt land. Above was the hot sun. At a distance, Dr. McLean saw the lions fighting and clawing and then settling down to feed in silence under the shady trees.
Oh, hello, kids. Where are your mum and dad?
Oh, they'll be here directly.
Oh, good. Good. We've got to get along.
He squinted at the lions, with his hands up to his eyes. Now they were done feeding, and they moved to the water hole to drink. A shadow flickered as the vultures dropped down from the blazing sky to finish what the lions left.
Dr. McLean? Dr. McLean?
What? Yeah?
Have a cup of tea?
Which concludes my report to date. There were no lions, of course, not in a physical sense. Lydia and George were devoured, however, almost as surely as if there had been lions. Their personalities were devoured by the mechanistic marvels which had usurped their role as parents. All 4 members of the family are under intensive therapy now and are doing as well as can be expected. Send that by telerope, Miss Carver. Oh, and would you ask George Abbott to step inside? I'm ready for him now.
You have just heard The Veldt by Ray Bradbury, presented by the NoSleep Podcast. Yes, we need a bit of Toto. Well, that was fun, everybody. Thank you. That was a ton of fun.
That was a hoot.
Yeah.
Love being devoured by lions. It's great.
You're so welcome.
I was devoured by
Thanks,
Kyle's
darling.
mustache.
Anytime.
Everything is these days.
Yep.
Yes.
That's great. A story from the 1950s, a mustache from the 1970s.
Present those
Appreciate that.
decades.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm living that throwback life.
Oh,
Amazing.
Yes, indeed. Wow, thanks, everybody. That's a lot of fun. That's certainly science fiction, but yes, when you get people getting ripped to shreds, literally, if not figuratively, or the other way around, it also has a little bit of horror in there. And, of course, creepy children. Little creepy girls asking if you want...
Children.
that tea at
That
the
was-
very end.
I was scared, like genuinely scared of that line.
Tea?
Such a happy blank smile full of malice.
Mm-hmm. Don't take away our nursery.
Indeed,
Yeah,
yes.
that was real rude.
Yes.
How crazy that was written in 1950, and
Hmm.
and then there were holodecks. No, we still haven't got the holodecks.
Not yet.
Yes.
Not quite yet, but...
But some sentiments carry on in perpetuity, like children are like carpets. They should be stepped on every now and then.
Yes.
Oh my word! Wonderful parenting advice.
Yes. Let's
Yes.
talk about all the great slices of 1950 culture.
I loved the line that the psychologist is like, "Oh, I've never heard a fact in my life. I just know feelings." It's like, oh
Feelings.
boy.
Personally, I'm very proud of the parents' decision of like, we're turning everything up. Okay, you can have 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Yeah. This is the
It's the
line.
fact
I'm
that-
drawing
that
the
you-
line.
He went
And
to the big fuse box outside, and then he went through switching everything off and
And cutting
pulling out
wires.
fuses and cutting wires, and yet okay, we'll put it back on for a minute. Let's just go back and resolder everything.
Yeah.
I'll get the soldering iron, honey.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right. If it's going to make you guys stop having a fit, 1 minute.
for 60 seconds.
What have we done wrong, George? We have brats.
You got the automatic house, the $60,000 automatic house. It's
And they
just
just kept giving in. you
What
know?
a
They did.
deal.
Yeah.
Death machine.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Brandon, you never give in to your little girl, do you?
Never. I was gonna say something about the carpet line, but I can't even bring myself to.
it'll be
Can't
clipped
even
out of
consider it.
context.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not as if this is like live or going up on
Right.
YouTube or anything like that.
Right.
Mm.
I just like how there's no in between. It's either just keep giving them the room or step on them. There's nothing.
Yeah. Don't limit their time daily. 1 hour a day tops.
Oh, boy.
Moderation,
they just, like-
no.
They just leave the kids in the nursery and go play bridge for God knows how long with the neighbors. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, they'll be fine.
It was the 50s,
Leave them in
right?
that holodeck.
Whatever.
I think Netflix is the modern equivalent.
Yeah, we're not wrong.
Netflix is your parent now.
They own you.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the stream, and thanks to everybody here. And certainly hope you've got a great weekend left. If you're in North America, David, your night's almost over, I guess, is it?
It is a bit, yes. It's 25 to 9, so it's definitely time for bed.
Yeah.
Rock and roll over here.
Just 1 more minute in the nursery, David.
Yes.
That's all.
Oh, please, please.
Indeed.
I
Well,
just want to say a quick hello to Sydney, who is my niece. Well, second cousin once removed.
Aw.
Anyway, yeah, she's in Ontario, so
Yay!
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Ontario, Canada?
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know.
Mhm.
An international family.
Where is she in Ontario?
What street?
Is she in Toronto, I mean?
No. She's more down towards London.
I was
think in
born...
the Tilsonburg area.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
I was born northeast of there in Peterborough, and then I had relatives in London, so I would have to do that giant drive. Anyway, that's very small. People will know those things.
I
waiting for
love
your-
London, Ontario. I've driven through there a bunch
Yeah.
on the way to Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was waiting for David to make a joke about the long drive from London to Canada, but
Yeah.
I was waiting for it too, not gonna lie.
Brandon,
All right, David,
that
go
deserves
ahead.
a round of applause.
Hey!
Marvelous. Well, I guess we can wrap it up. Brandon, as I said, I know you've got a big party to go to. So.
it's actually
Ooh.
it's not even a thing anymore. Don't even sweat it.
Wait.
I was there earlier, and then I was like, I'll pop into this thing, I'll come back, but it's already dispersed, so I got all the time in the world.
Oh, I thought it like got canceled in
No.
between 20 minutes ago and now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It was like a time slot like 2 to 5, and I was like, well, I'll go for the first hour, then I got to do this thing, then I'll come back, and then they were like, don't bother. So they might still be having the party, and I'm just not there invited anymore.
It just got way better when you left.
Yeah,
They just don't
exactly.
want you.
Sure.
Yeah, all the male strippers have ended, so I mean, there's
Yeah.
not much that you
No
can do.
point in going back.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Well, last words. If you have anything to plug or anything to share, feel free. Let's start it off with Mr. Graham Rowett.
Oh heck, darn it! I didn't want to be the first. I got nothing. Thanks for letting me. Thanks for letting me perform. I need it.
Well, thank you. Actually, Graham found this story for us. He
That's right, yeah.
scoured the internet. He talked to Mr. Bradbury.
Yep.
Or their estate.
Talk to the estate.
Okay.
I asked them about that line about stepping on kids, and they said, "Keep it in. You can't use it."
Keep it in, indeed. Well, thank you, Graham. Mr. Alt, how about you?
Well, I just wanted to say, with everything that's going on in the world, please stay safe. Yeah. Yes, that's
Yes.
basically it.
It's a good one.
Indeed, yes. Brandon.
Yeah, I'll just say, everybody love everybody. All right.
Mm-hmm.
If someone
Yeah.
gets that reference, I'll applaud them. So, you guys know my style. I try to just narrow it down as much as possible until like one person gets the joke I'm making.
Is,
But it's also a genuine sentiment.
is everybody love everybody a very specific reference that people won't understand? Because that feels like a very generic like concept that's been around for thousands of years.
Conceptually, it's fine. But if you
But those
seen the
three
movie,
words in succession.
yeah, semi-pro. Come on, Jackie Moon, Will Ferrell.
Well,
Everybody love everybody. Now everyone.
they're
knows
not the only people who said everybody love everybody. That's my only thing here. Because I totally agree with you. That
That's
Semi-Pro
from-
is a great movie.
It's from Brandon's Sermon on the Mount.
I can do this and make that more believable.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, let it down.
Ah, there it is.
Oh yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, that's very Jesus-y.
Indeed.
You were the one who said everybody love everybody. That was your quote.
That was like my whole thing.
Don't quote yourself. It's narcissistic at best.
The great man once said, "Oh yeah, it was me."
Oh yeah, I said that.
Lovely. Well, Nicole, would you have any words that could top Brandon's?
No, but thank you all for coming. Stay safe. As far as plugs, tonight again I will be doing more Alien Isolation and more screaming and crying as I get murdered over and over by a
Nice.
xenomorph. So
Oh,
at 8
Nice.
p.m. Eastern, Twitch TV, Nicole Goodnight. Come watch me die. It's a joy.
Nice.
It's quite the
Love everybody and come watch Nicole die.
that's
watch
the motto
me
we
be
can all
awful.
find.
Indeed. And Sarah, how about you?
Not much to say to top what's already been said, other than just be kind, be safe. Thanks for being here, y'all. Thank you. We're so glad.
we got a y'all, a Texas
get a
y'all.
y'all.
Ah, Texas, y'all.
You know, we just heard about London and Ontario and all these places. I'm like, listen, I got to represent now.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. Well done. Well done. And the last word from young Kyle Akers.
I just want to say, wash your hands. It's good for you. It's good for everybody. Just wash your hands more. That's all I got. I also like to plug the concept of growing facial hair when you go insane in quarantine.
Yep.
Yes.
I really recommend it. It's cleansing and it kind of transforms your whole personality. So give it a shot.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate your sanitary efforts, Kyle. You obviously haven't touched your upper lip for a long time. Hey, come on. everybody.
Great point.
Adam.
Could you just say the words "young man" though, please, Kyle? And
A young man.
there we go.
So young man. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. That's made my night.
Well, from all of us Global Village people, we thank you. Thank you for joining us. And hopefully we'll see you next week when we do live stream number 11. So thanks, gang, for coming. Take it easy.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye. Peace
Bye.
and joy.
Thank you. Bye.
The brains down and